Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News with me, Katira King. My first guest, Aramide Abe, is the founder of Naija Startups, a virtual startup accelerator that facilitates small business growth in Sub-Saharan Africa. Aramide has collaborated with organizations such as Google to deliver capacity-building skills for thousands of entrepreneurs in Nigeria and continues to partner with other organizations to provide value-added services to business owners across Africa. An alumnus of Kellogg School of Management and INSEAD, she's definitely a brave leader who inspires growth in people, organizations, and markets. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show, Aramide.
Thank you. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. I'm very
Brilliant
well.
stuff. Very, very glad to have you here with us discussing all things business.
Yes.
Now, tell me about your company. I mean, the name is a bit of a giveaway,
Yes.
but what does Naija Startups do?
So essentially, we're a community, so we provide value-added services to businesses and support as well. We have about 40 to 50,000 startups in our community. So from access to investors, shared services, providing sort of like workshops and training for businesses to help them grow. That's typically what we do.
Right.
Yes.
And you were at the recently concluded Tony Elumelu Forum, or Foundation rather,
Yes, I
where you
was.
helped one of your startups secure a grant with her elevator pitch.
So I know she won a competition. I don't know what she gets out of it, but it just so happened I stumbled into her at the event, and she was practicing a pitch, and then we worked on that pitch, we revised it, and then it was all her, and then she won. So I think that it speaks to a lot of what we do, which is supporting businesses to grow, to access investment, just to be better at business. That's essentially what we do.
That's amazing. So walk me through an elevator pitch. What goes into an elevator pitch?
Okay, so typically an elevator pitch is, it has to be catchy, but the key thing is to tell your business story.
Right.
And so what you want to do is, you tell your story, but also making a case as to why you need that investment. So it has to be very structured. You give the context initially, and then what you've done, maybe some of the stats and quick wins, and then the ask. So that's what the pitch.
Now I know how to ask for a raise.
Always just show where the value is, yes.
That's amazing. Now, speaking of adding and showing value, you've collaborated with companies like Google, working on increasing the what would you call it? The people, the employees rather, that are in the organization.
Yes. Well,
how did that go?
So with Google, they embarked on an initiative to train about 1 million Africans on digital marketing. So we came in from that angle where I sort of approached them and said, we can grow this number, and so what we need to do is partner with you and get the entrepreneurs to get trained for digital marketing, which we did. So it was a win-win where for them, they were trying to train people and we were bringing the people, because entrepreneurs need to know how to market digitally on social media. So it was quite good. That really helped us in terms of ramping up, and it was good coverage. It happened in 2015 to 2016.
That's amazing.
That
Google is a huge company.
They're huge. So it was a good endeavor. It was a good partnership.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned one of the skills that an entrepreneur should have. So talk us through a skill set of about 5 that you would say every entrepreneur must have.
Okay. Selling. We actually put some content online the other day. You have to know how to sell, whether it's selling your vision to your partner or selling your pitch to an investor or even selling your products to the market. Selling is a big skill that every entrepreneur should have. Don't leave it to the experts, even if it's just the fundamental types of selling. Another skill would be networking. You need to be able to network, to be able to sort of like just understand what's going on in the market, in the ecosystem, meet people you just never know, leveraging the partnerships that you have as well. Another skill would be managing people. So being able to deal with people, teams, you may not be a technical person, but you have to hire people. And so for that reason, managing people is good. I tend to find that people who are into operations, who have worked in previous corporate roles, are very good because they understand how structures work. So maybe not so much a skill, but that kind of experience where you can bring that into a business is good as well. And maybe the final thing is more of an intrinsic sort of skill, is self-awareness. So you know yourself, you know where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. And
I love that. So a SWOT analysis for one's own self.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, you actually worked in the financial sector. You had a 9-to-5 job. You were living a very comfortable life. What made you throw it all away to chase the entrepreneur's dream?
I wouldn't say I threw it away. I was an entrepreneur prior to working in 9 to 5, funny enough. So I'd been in and out, testing a few things. I had my first business, which was an SMS marketing business. That was a failed business, but I learned from it.
Absolutely.
So I went back into 9 to 5 after business school, and the company was going through some restructuring, which meant that I would have to relocate. And I was just kind of just weighing my options and decided to bite the bullet and go into entrepreneurship. Just, focus on that passion, because I had the idea and I felt no time like the present. This is the age. I have the zeal, the ambition. And so I just embarked on it boldly. Maybe not so much boldly initially, but along the way, yes, it was brave.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, you are effectively helping other people achieve their dreams, their business dreams, if you will. What made you decide to go the selfless route as opposed to the selfish route of, building your own business?
Interesting. That's a very good question. So the business that I have built now actually came out of a selfish route, which was maybe not so much selfish. I wanted to build a business directory so people could actually find information, address an information gap. But along the way, when we're testing and leveraging social media, we realized a much bigger need that there was, and we evolved into a community. So I would say, yes, it was selfless. Maybe it's just who I am. I don't know, but I've always wanted to just address this information gap and maybe monetize out of it. But then now it's much more of a bigger impact type business and community that we are.
Grown away.
It's scaled up very quickly.
Amazing.
Yes.
So where did the passion come from to help people?
Maybe it's innate. Maybe I guess I'm a firstborn. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I think for me, you have to have those kind of skills where you want to just help and impact people and maybe just think broader. But also, I've always been someone who leverages technology a lot to address a type of problem. And so that helped. So if I was doing this sort of like offline, it may have not grown this wide. And I think technology helps it to really go widespread.
Absolutely.
So,
how would you say that you measure the success of Niger startups?
Very good question. I think it's very hard to measure, and I think what you do is you think about the impact in terms of the numbers. That's why data is always very good. So we're doing we're improving and getting better at collecting the right kind of data rather than just business name, contact information. It's like, okay, what's your revenue at this stage when you joined, and how much are you making now? How many mentors have you got in the program that we're developing in terms of acceleration? So I think those kinds of things where you measure metrics like mentorships, funding, how many have actually raised money, which is to come. So that's a very good question. And it sort of challenges us to collect more data. Because guys like the World Bank, they want to know, okay, you're a community, but what's your data? What kind of numbers are you?
So how hard is it for you to gather this information? Because I can imagine in a place like Nigeria where we don't really document things like this, how challenging are you finding it?
It has been challenging, but then you look back and you look at people's success and failure stories. So you say, okay, rather than go out and collect data, is there a smarter way of collecting this data? What do you give them so they can give you that information? And so that's the approach that we've used. Is kind of like a model where you give them some free stuff, and then it's valuable to them, but but then at least then they can give you information, and just making them feel comfortable that look, we're partnering together and it's for your own benefit. So that has been the approach, and we'll continue to do that.
What would you say gets you out of bed in the morning? What is the drive, the motivation?
Because it's no longer about me. This is it's a big endeavor. And so that alone is like, the world is waiting,
you gotta
and
deliver.
Also, I have my goals that I've set, and just thinking about, okay, how far I have to reach. Sometimes you have early morning meetings like this one. So those kinds of things definitely get you out of bed. But in general, I think it's just the overall vision and being able to think that, okay, I've actually done this today. I've helped this business move from here to here. That definitely drives me.
Now, speaking of the businesses that you have helped grow, tell me a little bit about the Niger Startups community.
Okay. So we have, there's a lady called Liz Ajala. She's a social media marketer. She has a company. And from our training, she really benefited, and she was able to now begin to monetize her skills, which she didn't do before. There was a lady who we've never met called Chinwe. She runs a consulting company, and just from the networking that we do, we are able to get her a speaking engagement in Abuja.
Oh, wow.
They just reached us and said, we need an Abuja contact. Do you have someone? We sort of arranged that, and she got that job. There is Abiola, who runs an marketing business. She's a member of our subscription club, and so we got her to go and advertise and exhibit her products at one of the events that we partner with. So there's a lot of that in terms of value that they find. In terms of just more tangible things, there's quite a few people who have got 3 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new clients from our publicity on our platform. So there's definitely value in being a member and joining.
So how do I become a member?
Okay, so all you do is we're very active on social media. We also have a website. Instagram handle or Instagram account is the most active. So you go on there, there's a link on there, and you click on it, and then you can register.
Okay.
So our website is nigerstartups.co, but our Instagram handle is nigerstartups. And so you go on there and click, and then you can sign up.
That is amazing stuff. Aramide, thank you so much for joining me this morning. We are going to see later on in the show because we're discussing the World Bank.
Okay.
That is all from Aramide for now, as it's time for a short break on the morning show. Stay tuned, as when we return, I'll be speaking with Deji Rotimi about agribusiness. Don't go away.